Hi there, I'm Dark Shades and I am broadcasting out the east of England into your homes. Welcome to my channel. If it's the first time you're passing through, I am Dark Shades, the reggae counsellor, on a Wednesday on Afrobean Radio, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. And you can call and ask questions about different things on 07309 853 369. And but right now I am just sharing information. I tend to ask people what they want to know about, what they want me to talk about, and then I do a video. Sometimes, if I'm able to, I'll talk about it on my show if the track happens to complement the topic. But right now, I wanted to talk about a question that somebody asked me to discuss, which is about love and success. What the individual was saying was that a lot of men seem threatened by successful women. And what I decided to do is to change that around a little bit and say, what do men do when there's no misses in between? Because they don't want the lazy woman. They don't want the woman who's on her butt all day, who may not be working, who's got these kids, who's looking for a father figure for the kids, and she can look after herself because she's getting enough benefits, but they're not really going anywhere. They can't lift them out of the rut. And sometimes, depending on that man's circumstances, he might be quite happy in that situation. But I think, like I said, they might be his kids, they might not be his kids, but I was thinking more or less of a man who was seeking for a woman, and she has kids and she's not working for whatever reason, maybe because the kid is too young or whatever. And some of these women, I know a woman who's never worked in her life, and this man has been providing for her all of the years, and he's been with her like 17, 18 years. So I'm thinking about, and he's quite happy doing it. So I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that you've got some men who don't mind doing it. You've got some men, because when they do that, they feel as though they're playing their role of a man. And their role of a man is to provide and to support. And so when a man finds a woman like that, he feels as though he can provide and support and fulfill his purpose as a man. Then you have the other extreme. You have the extreme where you've got women who are so, well, I don't want to say successful because that's relative, but they are so busy and they've got so many eggs in their basket, and the man hardly can hardly get any time with them. And they kind of, they've got their own places. They don't seem to want for anything. And, the man does like them, but he's kind of thinking, what can I do for this woman? How can I support her? And sometimes it's not that he's threatened by the woman, but it's what purpose do I serve in this woman's life? Especially if that woman isn't asking for anything. Men like to be asked. They like to know that they're needed. And so regardless of how successful you are, there are things that a man can do for you. And those are the things that he's kind of looking for. But if you are so busy saying, oh, I can do this by myself. Oh, you don't have to fix my broom. I can fix it. Oh, you don't have to fix my light. I know how to fix a light. Oh, you don't have to fix my washing machine. I know how to fix a washing machine. They're kind of like, why am I here? And the thing is, that has got nothing to do with feeling threatened by a successful woman. It's them needing a purpose in that woman's life. And if he can't see that he can fulfill that purpose, he is going to feel uncomfortable, especially if he likes that woman. And that woman doesn't see that she's kind of blocking all avenues for him to help. Some women, they do that because they've been hurt in the past and they don't feel that they can rely on a man. And so rather than be disappointed or have their expectations not met, They do things themselves. And so the man might not know that. The man might just think, oh God, she don't need a man. She's independent. Men say, oh, I used to go to these parties, and the men used to say, yeah, hands up, the independent woman. And I always used to think it was a cop out for men. It's a cop out for men who don't want to help a woman, doesn't want to support a woman, doesn't want to contribute towards a woman's, upkeep. They just want to ride the woman's back. So, I think that there is, there should be a happy medium, a Mrs. In between. And that is the problem, because there doesn't seem to be a Mrs. In between. I'm sure there is, but the men that are there, they tend to lean towards one or the other, the two extremes, because a lot of men, they want a woman who can build them up, who can, help them in some way. Women want the same thing. They want men who can help them. So in that sense, a man is going to look for a woman who is aspiring, who's doing stuff. But by wanting a woman who is aspiring and doing stuff, she might not have the time that he wants to spend with her. So, it's a kind of, where is the compromise? What do you sacrifice in order to make it work? And then the woman has to start thinking, well, okay, if I am going to compromise or improvise or sacrifice or prioritize, what's in it for me? So it's finding that balance, isn't it? I think it's about finding balance in a relationship. You don't want the waster or the person, unless you're that type of man, like I said, who wants that kind of life, who feels validated when he has a woman who's dependent on him. And you have the other side where, the woman doesn't seem to need the man at all. And so what is the in between? What is the Mrs. In between? The Mrs. In between, I would assume she's got a job. Maybe her children are quite independent. They're not, too much of a burden. I would assume that she's got her own place, whether it's a flat or whatever. And I would assume that she's just working a 9-to-5 job, and she's just looking for a partner who she can see on a regular basis. But are these women around? Because it's weird, because the man who supports a woman can make certain demands, has a certain authority, because he's pulling the strings. The man who's got the woman who's relatively successful or who's over busy, he's going to feel like it's just a booty call. She doesn't want me for anything else. She just wants me for that, because she hasn't got time for anything else. And then the one in the middle, where is she? Who is she? And they're usually, the funny thing is, the ones in the middle are the ones who haven't quite healed themselves yet, who are a bit, still a bit hurt, still a bit bitter, still a bit resentful, still a bit unsure, so they haven't reached the point where they want to reach out and do something better. But they know that they don't want to go into that realm of being, dependent on the state or dependent, not having a job. So they're kind of somewhere in the middle, and they kind of probably get lost in all the faces. But they do exist. How you find them, I'm not sure. But there's many women out there who are Mrs. In-Betweens, and who, for men who cannot, who need more quality time with an individual, they would need to have that Mrs. In-Between, I would imagine. But then again, I think to myself, if you've got a Mrs. In-Between, and that man can see her anytime he likes, is he going to get bored? Is he going to take her for granted? Is she going to be one of those women that they end up, only being interested for a while. The thing is, men need stimulation. And so regardless of whether she's at the bottom, regardless of whether she is somebody who wants to be supported or whether she's somebody who doesn't need support, that man still needs some stimulation. He still needs to have something that's getting him going. And so somebody who's in the middle and who's quite happy with her lot and quite complacent, that isn't even going to cut it. So I think wherever you are on this seesaw, whether you're at one end, the up end, or in the middle, I think providing you're willing to support somebody, providing you're willing to embrace ideas, and I think regardless of how a woman claims she's self-sufficient, she needs you for something. And I'm not talking about sex. She needs a man for something. Personally, I like a man to be a man. All the little odd jobs around the house, I don't want to have to say, do this, do that. While I'm doing my thing, providing you're not making a noise so I can do my videos in peace, I'm absolutely fine. So to me, I feel as though, men still can be men for women who are busy or self-sufficient. Because those are the things, I know there's some women who claim that they can do everything. But, I think they're few and far between. But I still think there's women, regardless of how aspiring they're trying to be, they still need a man to nurture them, support them, encourage them. They still need those traditional traits, are they, from a man? Yeah, they still need that. So I don't think there's any reason for a man to step back or feel threatened. I don't think they do feel threatened. I think a man, especially, you have some men who are damn lazy. You have some men who just sit there and they think, oh yeah, she independent, you have to do nothing. And they just sit there and they don't do anything. And so you do have men like that. They see it as a cop-out. And that woman who is so-called successful or busy or whatever, she ends up kind of overcompensating for the person who's sitting there doing nothing. So you do have men who are like that. They're quite happy to have an independent woman so they don't have to do nothing and they don't have to give her anything and they don't have to support her in any way and they don't have to, supplement her in any way. You do have men like that. But if you have a decent man, he is going to do those. He is going to do those odd little things that he sees can be done when he can do them. And he's not going to feel threatened by the fact that you're busy or you're doing stuff. So I don't think there's any cause. I think it's a myth. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'll probably get a bollocking. But when they say men are threatened by successful women, like I said, I don't think they're threatened at all. I think you've got the ones who are damn lazy and who just want to take advantage of the situation. And you've got those who would like to support their women, but the women make it difficult for them to do so because they're not asking for what they need. And then you've got those men who use their initiative and they can see things that need to be done and they just go and do it. And those are the men that women who are aspiring or so-called successful want. They don't want the dossers. And you can doss around for a little while. You can get away from it you can get away with it for a little while, but you can't get away with it for very long. And it's really irritating. I remember when they used to have dances, and the men used to say, "Why, we love an independent woman, We like a woman who can take care of herself. I like a woman who you don't have to do nothing for her. She know how to take care of herself." I love them kind of woman there. You're an independent woman. I always say, no, I'm not. I'm a dependent woman. I'm a demanding woman. You know? Because what damn cheek. So what are you doing? What, because I don't understand why a man thinks he can come into a woman's life and get away with doing nothing. What, just drew him have something in his pants? Is that it? Because that's how some of them behave. And so I think it raises mixed messages. It raises the message that this is men who feel threatened by successful women. But I don't believe men are threatened by successful women. I don't think they are. Some of them might be a bit intimidated. They might feel a bit unsure, but that's probably got nothing to do with the woman. It's got something to do with maybe them being rejected in the past, or something happened in their past, or they might not feel comfortable, or they might just be shy. There might not be nothing wrong with them. They might just be shy. They might not be sure about how to approach you or what to say. But they're not threatened by successful women. Men who are men are not threatened by successful women. They embrace successful women. They enhance them. They build them up. They encourage them. They love them. So don't get it twisted. It's not all like that. If you meet up a man and he's going on like he's intimidated by you because you are successful, it's a form of control. It's to bring you down to his level a peg. You'll find that they start picking at you and having a go at you because, you're a bit up there. So what they try to do is bring you down a notch and make it look like you're too high up, you're too intimidating, and they try to use psychology on you. Don't let men use psychology on you. If you're busy doing your thing and you have things to do, you do your thing. Don't let men say, oh, you don't have no time for me. What, you're always doing that, or you're always doing this. I need more time. And when you give them time, what do they do with it? They bloody ignore you. You go up and you go to where they live and go where they see you. Sometimes they don't even talk to you. They're on the phone, or they go out or whatever. And they make you stop what you're doing, what you're committed to doing. And because you are so compromising, you stop what you're doing, the good thing that you're doing that's going to benefit you, give you some passive income and do whatever you're going to do. You get up and think, oh, I better give him some time. I better go and see him. He's been going on a bit. So you get up out of your warm house, you go to where he lives, jump on tree and jump on bus, goodness knows how far you go. Then when you reach there, he's telling you, oh, I just have to go up the road. They go up the road and go on for, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, leaving you in the house. And then when they come back, they'll say, so what, you couldn't put something on the fire? You know what I mean? It's their way of training you to come down a notch. And it's annoying. So you women who allow that to happen, you need to stop. If you have something that you're interested in, you do it. And if you decide that you want to stop what you're doing and go and see somebody, be prepared that if that person isn't devoting their time and giving you quality time, you don't feel upset about it because you have done what you needed to do before you left. So, yeah, I hope I've answered that question, because really and truly, I don't think it's about men feeling threatened. I really think it's about men trying to, cop out of responsibilities. And like I said, there are real men out there who stand up to the plate, big them all up. And that's all for now. Bye-bye.